very good morning to everyone. Thanks for tuning in today for our today's podcast. We are very honored to be with one of the most influential leaders in our government and in many leadership programs. I'd love to allow them to introduce themselves.
Yeah, my name is Hassan Kibirango, and I serve as the director for iLead for the continent of Africa. I oversee the execution of the iLead program in 3 countries: Rwanda, Uganda, Nigeria, and now Kenya. We've just started in Kenya as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Flora. I am the Deputy Director General of Rwanda Basic Education Board. Rwanda Basic Education Board is an implementing agency of the Ministry of Education, and our main mandate is to promote quality education in basic education in Rwanda.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Thanks for coming in. I'm very happy to have you over here.
Thank you.
So, Pastor Hassan, you are the coordinator of the iLead program on the African continent, and you've overseen it for almost many years. So, what common barriers do you see students facing in schools, and how does the iLead program help erase those barriers in terms of implementing leadership on their own selves?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so the iLead program really comes to complement the education program that the government of Rwanda has implemented in schools. It's a values-based curriculum that helps students to connect what we call hard skills, the education they study, with what we call soft skills, which is really the internal capabilities to be able to manage their lives, but also their careers holistically. And we find that the biggest barriers that young people struggle with, again, looking at it through the lenses of iLead, is to be able to manage themselves because of the different pressures that are coming against them. So you find that they might be brilliant here, they might be able to articulate content here, but usually you find a gap here. So iLead comes to deal with the heart, even as our education system deals with the mind mostly. And somebody said that when they finish school, they have all these skills and they're hired for competence, but oftentimes they're fired for character. So we find that it's good to merge these 2 aspects of education together, what we call soft skilling or values-based education, plus also the normal education. And we came alongside, the government of Rwanda to meet this gap because there's already values, the national values. In Kinyarwanda is Indangagaciro in Rwanda. So we came to just come alongside that to help meet this gap. So we find that many young people struggle with issues to do with self-worth, self-esteem, self-discipline, resilience, and all these things are not necessarily taught in school. They have to be nurtured at home, but a lot of them learn them from their peers. So if they are not directed well in the area of values and character, they face a lot of pressures.
Yeah, someone once said, if you don't have values, you will end up in a university called Majerejere. Is that true?
So usually, the inability to manage yourself well, also with peer pressure that is negative, can lead down that path. Yeah.
Dr. Flora, on a national perspective, how does the iLead program complement the Rwanda's education curriculum and its educational goals?
Yeah, thank you so much. The Rwanda National Competence-Based Curriculum is a curriculum that equips students with 3 main competences. One is knowledge, skills, and values. So those are the competences in the competence-based curriculum. So when we say competence, we mean knowledge, skills, and values. This is to say that we expect our student at least to complete basic education with the knowledge, the skills, but also the values. So in the competence-based curriculum, the values that we want all students to have developed by the end of senior 6 are values of integrity, responsibility, patriotism, collaboration, problem solving. Those values we want, and the curriculum is meant to equip them with those values. And the national goal of education, which is we have some goals, around 9 goals in education policy. And we have 2 goals that focus on values. The first goal of the education policy is to promote culture, identity, and values. And the 4th goal of the national policy, national education policy, is to develop citizens who have values and moral behavior. So when you look at the curriculum that we have that focus on the values and the national goal that really want to develop citizens who are ethical and who are grounded in moral and the national identity. So we can say that the iLead program is really complementing the curriculum, but also supporting the Ministry of Education and the education sector in general to reach our mandate, which is to provide and to equip students with the values and the moral that are needed for students to thrive in the world and be a responsible and ethical citizen.
Pastor Hassan, we have seen many testimonies of graduates of the iLead program succeeding outside. It means the iLead is really complementing the Rwanda's national educational curriculum. So what is this uniqueness that the iLead program has that most of the leadership programs that mostly succeed in theory but fail in practice? What is this unique thing that the iLead program is bringing to the youth outside here?
Thank you. So the iLead program has obviously great content. It has 3 modules.
Okay.
One, it begins with choices. We call it I Choose, and it covers 16 choices or 16 values. Then it transitions to the next module, which is I Do, which is, so now that you've learned good values, good choices, how then do you put them into action? And then the third one is iLead, which is also the name of the program, which is leadership principles that you can live by. So what makes iLead unique is not just the content. The content is amazing, but it's the process. So it's a peer-led curriculum where we give an opportunity to students to actively participate in their learning of these values, but also hold themselves accountable to putting these values into action. So we all know that when a student transitions from a preteen to a teenager, they tend to shift their allegiance a lot more from adults and their parents and teachers, and their trust begins to develop a lot more around their peers. So we use what we call positive peer pressure, or positive peer influence. And we find that works a lot, because once we are all speaking the same language, that we've decided to be students of integrity, and we're in the same class and we go through this material every week, and then we notice that you're doing something that is out of integrity, it will be easier to call you out or to help you get on track. So we find that what has made iLead unique and transformational is the fact that we've allowed the students to participate largely in it. So it's not taught, it's for most people, for most schools, it's like a co-curricular activity. It's not taught in the classroom. We give the manuals to the students. They sit in small groups. We orient them on how to run the program, and they lead themselves, because again, it's iLead, it's to help you lead yourself. So we give them that opportunity. So we have found that is what makes it uniquely transformational and maybe different from other methodologies of education.
Dr. Flora, you work with many school leaders. What can you say to them as a way to create a thriving environment for a program like iLead in their schools?
Well, as you said, we work with different schools, public school, government-aided school, and private school. And in the school environment, there's so many things that school leaders, head teachers, director of study, they can be so much oriented in academics, biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, but they don't focus much on values, which is part of the curriculum. So in engagement that we have with teachers, teachers, head teachers, and school leaders, is to make sure that we balance what we give to students, because it's very important that they get the academics, but it's also very important that they get the soft skills and values.
Wow. So teachers out there and the school leaders, they're all listening. Pastor Hassan, you've seen all these leadership values being, taught in students out there. What can you say are the most main values that have led the transformation today?
Yeah. So we have found that generally, based on research, that the youth of today, especially those that are in, you would say, the urban elite setting, is that they're growing up in a world where there's a lot of pressure that is brought to them from access to a lot of information, some of which is misinformation. So you find that they're under a lot of pressure to be who they are not, and that is why I love what Dr. Flora said, that one of the core principles of the Rwanda Education Board and the National Policy of Education is to inculcate a sense of identity and culture and unique culture into the lives of students, because there's this sense of wanting to be like someone you're not. And then it tends to put pressure on them to do things that would want to please a certain audience, mostly a virtual audience. So I find that sense of being able to build an identity and a self-worth that is wholesome, that is not fragmented. So one of the values that I find that are very, very critical in this day are the values of self-discipline, self-worth, those are some of the values that iLead covers, but also resilience. Yeah, resilience is the ability to manage pressure. I find that the management of pressure is reducing more and more with the young people of this day. Again, because the pressures they are facing are quite unique. When we grew up, we did not have the negative effects of social media because it did not exist. For them, they are growing up and they are seeing their peers all over the world doing certain things, and they feel they want to be like them. So sometimes when things don't work as they think they should work, they tend to give up. So we see a lot of rise in mental health issues statistically. It says that mental health issues have risen in the last maybe 10, 15 years, a lot because of the rise of the negative use of technology. So resilience, self-worth, and having a solid identity in who you are and not trying to be like someone else. I think the biggest evangelist when it comes to our identity as Rwandans is His Excellency, our President. He keeps telling us as Rwandans, you need to be comfortable in who you are and don't try to be like someone else. So what iLead does is it comes alongside that amazing narrative to help anchor them in those values. Yeah, thank you.
Wow. So you've reminded me of President Paul Kagame. He's behind all of this, the iLead program coming to Rwanda.
Yes.
That's correct?
Yes, he, so I won't get into the whole story of how iLead came into Rwanda, but it emanated from a meeting that His Excellency had in 2019 with a few people who are behind this curriculum. And he was like the door opener. But of course, to make it work, we had to go through the different institutions. And we're grateful to him and his leadership, but also to the Ministry of Education, because we're able to sign an MOU with the Ministry of Education to help it roll out. And we've had very strong collaborations with the ministry and its agencies, such as REB, to be able to make sure that it's working effectively. Yeah.
Oh, Dr. Flora,
Yes.
you are an expert. You have an experience in leadership of education in UNICEF. What advice would you give to policymakers out there in the government as a way to keep on instilling the values of leadership in the youth across many schools of Rwanda?
Well, I think our policy and education policy, but also our vision as Rwandans is very clear. We want to have citizens who are ethical and who are responsible. We don't want to have Rwandans who will, of course, be Rwandan because of the education system that they went through. We don't want them to have degrees only without character and moral, because we are very much aware that you can have a lot of degrees, but if you don't have moral and character and behavior and identity as a Rwandan, then you are not a complete Rwandan or a complete citizen. So our policy and vision is very clear, is to have citizens who are ethical and responsible and who are grounded in Rwandan culture and identity.
Wow. The government is really thinking ahead for the youth, and I think they're very happy to hear this from our podcast of today. Pastor Hassan, how is the iLead program ensuring that all that is learned in roundtables at different schools all over the Rwanda is becoming a long-term behavior, not just for a long-term, a short-term inspiration at the moment at the table, but how does the iLead program, ensure that this goes all over after someone graduates from the iLead program, instead of being something for the table there, and just move out passively?
Yeah, it's a good question, and also a bit of a difficult question to answer, in the sense that when it comes to soft skilling, is that it's like you're sowing seeds whose fruit you will only see in the future. So we've been running iLead since 2022 in Rwanda, about 150,000 students in about 200 schools. Our goal is with the collaboration with the government, to be able to take it to all the schools in Rwanda. But what we are doing is we are sowing seeds. We are sowing seeds of values, and we are hoping that these seeds will bear fruit in the future. So the thing about iLead, it's very difficult to measure behavior in the short term. It's difficult to measure. Yeah. Okay. But what we get mostly is testimonials and just a change in the outlook that the students have. So as we've collected data, we've done midterm evaluation reports at the end of 2 years, and there's one that was carried out last year as well. With the students who have gone through iLead for at least 3 years, some of the reports they are giving is that even in the short term, they have noticed that their outlook towards life has changed. They believe in themselves a bit more, even when maybe the circumstances of their growing up, they're always different for different students. They have a sense of self-confidence. They have, most of them are now articulate. They can stand up in front of people and talk. Others are leading themselves to improve academically. In fact, many students were telling us that they struggled academically in some, but after iLead, they were able to realize that they can do better. So there's just that internal build-up of confidence and giving them a healthy sense of self-worth, that in the short term, we are hearing testimonies. In the long term, we shall see.
Okay. Yeah, actually,
as they transition to adulthood.
Yeah, the best student in the country in the national exams, 2025, he was part of the iLead program, and he said that one of the values that really helped me was commitment.
Commitment, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, Dr. Flora, could you please give us a picture of Rwanda in 20 years from now, when the youth of Rwanda really embrace the values that they learn in today's leadership programs like iLead?
Wow. 20 years from now, I think we'll be very close to the Vision 2050.
Yeah, very close.
And our Vision 2050 is very clear. We want to have a country that is prosperous, and the word prosperous is very huge. It's not only economic prosperity, it's also social and emotional prosperity. And the Vision 2050 also, we want to see a Rwanda where people will have a high living standard. And the high living standard to me is not just the income, the level of income that you have. It's also in terms of how you live and how you live with your community, in your neighborhood, the contribution that you make in the community and in your neighborhood. So I see the youth that we are supporting now, as he said, it's a seed. And in the next 20 years, we want to see this youth contributing to the vision that we have to get a country that is so prosperous in terms of economic and social, but also contributing to having a country that its citizens have a high living standard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pastor Hassan, this is the Beyond Roundtable podcast, so it means it's beyond the classrooms where most of the discussions, peer-to-peer discussions happen from. What is the importance of this podcast, Beyond Roundtable?
Yeah, I think this podcast is creating awareness to a wider community, and I'm really, really grateful to REB for offering this space and this opportunity for us to have these conversations to reach an audience of, a community that is outside of the main beneficiaries of iLead, who are the students, a community of teachers, educators, parents who will be listening to this podcast. I think it's contributing to creating more awareness about what the iLead program is, because it is still in its formative stages. It's not widely known, though it is having a great impact. So to have a podcast like this to be listened to by many people, people will pay attention and say, hey, what is this iLead? And if they have maybe children in secondary schools and their parents, they'll be like, is my child on iLead? So for me, it's just the opportunity for the awareness of the program too.
Okay, still that, Pastor, Dr. Flora has really framed a picture of what the country will look like in 20 years when we prioritize the values-based leadership program. And could you please give us now a picture when the youth do not prioritize character? How will it be?
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to go very far.
Yeah, because we don't want them to...
Exactly. We just need to see the world around us,
okay,
and what is happening. The level of injustice in nations, the level of corruption in nations. I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were saying that in certain nations, and I won't mention names because that's not the goal, is that it's almost being placed in the hearts of young people to want to work for governments, because it's the easiest opportunity, quote-unquote opportunity, to get rich quick.
Okay.
Yeah. And these are many, many countries where there is a national ethic or ethical values. Corruption is high and injustice is high. So we don't have just look on the news and see a nation that lacks values is a nation that is really building a very, very faulty foundation. Values are the foundation of great leadership. Values are the foundation of stability and national transformation, because you can be skilled here, but if you're bankrupt here, it becomes very, very difficult. Somebody said you can be the brightest engineer, but if you're not morally upright, you're going to build bridges that will not have structural integrity. And that's why I'm grateful that in Africa, iLead started in Rwanda, because it was being tested in a country that already has built a very strong foundation of values. And it's a common thinking from both our leaders and the people at scale. So I am really, really hoping that even as iLead has started going into other countries as well, beyond Rwanda, is that that students will be able to learn how to be brilliant, innovative, critical thinkers, and have hard skills, but for that to go alongside the character, because it's very, very, it's what makes a human being sustainable and a nation sustainable, is not building amazing things on the outside, but we are hollow on the inside. It doesn't work. It's not sustainable.
Wow. So, Dr. Flora, you are one of the key leaders in our education sector we have today, REB, because we all know about REB, and it's really been doing a good job. So, you have led with values. And there are people outside here who are going to see our podcast, and they've never been part of the iLead program. But what kind of guidance can you give them to become responsible, value-driven leaders in their future?
Well, the one advice that I would give to anyone, especially our student in secondary school, is to be part, if they are very lucky to be in a school where iLead is working with the school, is to be part of the iLead program. Because this is a very good program. I was so lucky to have a daughter who used to be in a school where iLead is. It's a school in Nyagatare. And when she was in a holiday, she was reading a book. It is called Choose.
I Choose.
Yes. I Choose. And I look into the book and I was like, wow, he was reading and, underlining, taking notes in the book. So I said, can I see? It's read, I Choose. And I went through the book and I was like, this is so amazing. And I could see the change, the note that she was taking, the goal that she was setting. And I could definitely say that this is a very good program that we really need. It's part of the curriculum, but if it is a supplemental materials, supplement to curriculum, it's also very important and very good. So my advice to students is if they are lucky to be in a school where iLead is being implemented, they are very lucky and they should take that seriously. But if they are not, there's also some content out there in the curriculum, but also content that are very good that can have access to. So I would encourage them to balance the two, the academic and the soft skills, especially the leadership and the value-based leadership and skills.
Pastor Hassan, a final question. How would you say the iLead program is complementing to the parental roles in raising the children that all parents wish and to have and grow and see achieve their dreams?
Yeah. I think the iLead program and many other programs are coming alongside parenting, because the home is the foundation of giving values to kids by parents. It's that's where it starts. Yeah, and but unfortunately, because of the nature of our world, we become busy. Mothers, fathers, we become busy, and then kids take on a learning life of about 20 years, 23 years. So many parents have to hand them over to the education system to learn, and oftentimes because the formative learning, even for deaf students, for example, the formative learning time is from morning to evening. By the time they go back home,
just sleep.
They are tired. The parents come back, they are tired. So So increasingly we are seeing it's becoming a bit difficult, but it should start from home, ideally. So that is why these programs are coming alongside parenting. They can never replace the responsibility of parents. But sometimes we feel the pressure, especially for educators, because educators feel like sometimes they have to do more than imparting basic education skills. It's like they become default parents to students because they spend a lot of time with them. So with programs like iLead and other programs, the values, they help to help.
Okay.
I won't say to do what parents are supposed to do,
Yeah,
but to really support.
Yeah, they support.
Yeah, because values are supposed to be embedded first from home, and then the school and the society in general complement. So we are grateful that the iLead program is doing that. Maybe the other thing I could say is that iLead Rwanda, for example, right now has signed MOUs with other institutions, and it's helping to go beyond the classroom. So we have out of school youth. So we've been able to work with the National Youth Council and Ministry of Youth to be able to take them through the iLead program.
Okay.
It's been tailored to them. We also have youth in rehabilitation.
Wow.
So we've worked with the National Rehabilitation Services to take the iLead program to the different rehabilitation centers. Again, it's coming alongside parents who have kids or children who you would say have been a bit troubled, and some of them have had to be institutionalized and rehabilitated. So we are taking the iLead program there to support, even as we do it in the formal education space as well.
Okay, so I would like to give you 1 minute respectively of everyone, and you look face at the camera and you invite the audience to follow our podcast and tune in and learn more from our podcast. Pastor Hassan, you can.
All right.
You can start.
Yeah, so this is a great podcast and an opportunity for us to learn about what iLead is doing, but also the other programs that the government has through amazing agencies like REB and the Ministry of Education. So keep tuning in, keep learning more about these programs, like the values-based programs that are available. And it's such an opportunity. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Our curriculum, as I said when I started, is the competence-based curriculum, and we focus a lot on values. And our education goal is to have a student who have values and who have ethical and moral that are based in Rwanda identity and culture. So this podcast is supporting what Rwanda Basic Education Board is doing and what the Ministry of Education is doing and the overall national education goal. So stay tuned.
Okay. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for choosing to grow. Thanks for choosing to learn more values and becoming a values-based driven leader in your future. Tune in, share and follow, like and sub. Thanks. Have a good time.